Last night, Solomon brought up something about, do I believe that the leaders, the de facto leaders of Black Lives Matter, and he went down the list: Sean King, DeRay McKesson, Netta, and some, I forgot who all he named, but the Bree Newsom, and all the rest of them. Do I believe that they understand, or are aware of the economic implications, and the economic troubles that are a part of the Black community and a part of the police violence that the Black community is fighting against? And I didn't want to open that can last night because I needed to think about it a little more. And I actually, I knew exactly what I wanted to say last night. I just didn't want to talk about it last night, to be honest with you. But my good friend, Yvette Carnell, I work with her over at Your Black World with Boyce Watkins. She shared an article this morning that was serendipitous, to say the least. And it shows you just how desperate the wealth situation is in the Black community. How unbelievably drastic. I use so many adverbs. How ridiculously I'm trying to say it without so many adverbs here. How ridiculous the difference is between Black wealth and white wealth. And the truth of the matter is, this is structural. You guys are getting a glance into my OneNote. This is what I use to organize myself. But anyway, it's all here. This is from Huffington Post. If I can get a zoom in on here. No. Tell you what, I'll copy the link. I'll share the link with you guys. Let's go to the Huffington Post. And this article shows you, I want to go to the main one. Black wealth barely exists. I want you to look at this chart. In 2007, the net median household wealth of white Americans was $192,000. For Black people, it was $19,000. In 2013, post-recession, that declined across the board. 141,000 for white Americans, 11,000 for Black Americans. Now, you have some intentionally obtuse people who want to use and say, look at Obama, right? This is during President Obama's tenure, and that this is President Obama's fault. He hasn't done anything for Black people. I'd like for those people to either do some reading and understand business cycles and the amount of time it takes for the effect of a recession to actually get out of our system. Do some reading or shut the hell up. Because first, two things. Number one, we lost wealth just like the rest of America lost wealth because of the recession that began underneath, I almost said Ronald Reagan, underneath George W. Bush. That's number one. But number two, this is a structural problem that has existed long before President Obama, long before President Bush. This is a structural problem that goes back to the fact that we were enslaved. And so simultaneously, as we're fighting as we're fighting police brutality, if we're not talking about the structural problems of our economic system, then we will not be addressing this unbelievably, ridiculously, embarrassingly difference in wealth between Black Americans and white Americans. And you have bastards out there who want to say this is because Black people don't get married. Bullshit. Flag on a play. Shut the hell up. This is not because of single families. This is because of a historical precedent, of the historical fact, rather, that we extracted wealth out of the Black community for as long as we did. And after slavery, we continue to extract it. And even now today, we have done nothing to give poor people across the board, but particularly I'm talking about Black people right now. Looking at this chart, we have given Black people nothing in terms of a leg up in an economy that requires what we talked about last night. It absolutely requires capital to get capital. It requires wealth to build wealth. That is the structure of our system. And so if you are born in poverty, you are going to remain in poverty. There is a high correlation between people born in poverty and those who die in poverty. And it is much more likely. There's another chart on that same article showing that you are much more likely to do that if you are Black. So to the very fundamental question, do the leaders of Black Lives Matter understand the economic implications and why the campaign of Bernie Sanders is significant in that he is the only one addressing the economic paradigm? If they don't, they need to read this article. And they need to get, we have to include simultaneously, yes, let's speak out against police brutality. But do you understand that there is also a correlation between police brutality and not just race, but police brutality and economic strata? That there are poor people across the board who have a different experience with the police than any other economic strata. I'm not going to say that. But simultaneously, it must be a both and. And what is disturbing is the willingness that I've seen of some to either completely ignore the economic problem or dismiss the economic problem because they don't want to support Bernie Sanders, or dismiss the economic problem because they are in the tank for Hillary Clinton. I don't know what the reason is. And this one, I'm not calling any names. I'm not any of the people that I mentioned before. I'm not laying this at their feet. I'm laying this at the feet of the entire conversation. At the feet of the entire conversation, I don't hear any significant voices speaking out about the economic correlation between police violence and the Black community.